we're doing an interview here with Ashlee Evans-Smith. She is a UFC fighter who is currently obviously going through the same things we all are going, being stuck at home and stuff like that. But tell me how the pandemic is affecting you.
I mean, there are a lot of ways that the pandemic is affecting me that are similar to, someone who's not a fighter, meaning my job is on hold just like everyone else. I'm inconvenienced when I can't go to my gym to work out just like a normal person. I can't go to the, certain stores, things like that. But the biggest inconvenience is the fact that when the pandemic hit, I was actually in London about to fight. And I was gonna, fight, win, earn money, and then, bump up in the rankings, excuse me, and follow my career. And so then when I had to come home, not only am I not making money, not getting to follow my dream and compete, my life is on standstill since I make my money by fighting, and the way that I go to work is go to the gym. So I can't go to work, I can't go to the gym, and it's my hobby too. It's not just my career, it's things I love to do would keep me happy. So pretty much everything I love doing is closed down. And it's hard, but at the same time, I know that I'm in the limelight. So I'm trying to be very positive and show people that there's a lot of other things that you can do in the meantime.
Just to kind of like run through that situation with your fight. You were actually flown to London, right? And you were asked, thinking that you were already going to get there and you were going to have a fight that week, but they actually canceled the fight while you were there.
Not since the UFC has been an organization, there's never been a reason. This reason has never been, why they would stop the fight. They've stopped fights because maybe the headliner got injured, or maybe the location, the venue, or something like that. But this has never happened before. So it's new for me, new for the UFC, and new for the world, really.
So other than the cost of getting there, because that's what the UFC obviously covers that, right? You're not losing anything else other than no paycheck.
Well, I mean, I had some corners fly out there that, they paid their own way. So yeah, you lose money. I lost money preparing for the fight, things that I, bought because London, things are different, so the weather was different. I had to buy anything from something very small like an umbrella to, I paid a nutritionist out there to do all my meals. And then when I got there, I left. So things like that.
Well, so it's like, it's a very new situation for all of us. Going back to your diet, since you're talking about your diet right now, how are you maintaining that right now? I know that you had been sponsored by. Well, the last time you did come, you were a vegan, right, or vegetarian? Vegan.
I'm vegan.
I'm not very clear on the either or, but can you kind of explain how you're following your diet while you're going through this crazy pandemic?
I mean, I always eat clean in the sense that, no dairy, no meat, all that kind of stuff. I stay away from fried foods, but it's hard because, I'm 5'8", and I used to fight at 145 pounds, and now I fight at 125 pounds. So I've dropped a few weight classes, but I'm still a pretty big girl. So I'm eating clean, but I'm definitely not gonna, cut weight during the pandemic, since I don't know when I'm gonna fight. It's just not healthy for your body to put your body at such a caloric deficit for a certain amount of time. Your body goes into starvation mode. So I'm trying to stay fit, but at the same time, not cut weight, if that makes sense. Eating healthy, but not restricting myself too much, because if you start training too soon, or if you start dieting too soon, you do what they call a peak, and you might peak too soon. So the goal is to start your training camp or start your diet so that you peak and hit your maximum potential, whether it's diet wise, nutrition wise, or training wise, right on competition night. And then after that, you can eat a little bit better and relax. But so it's just kind of hard because we don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. So how am I supposed to structure my diet and my weight cut when I don't know what I'm going to fight. So all you can really do is try and eat as healthy as you can and train somewhere, you know, your living room, whatever.
Where are you training? I know you. I mean, obviously, you can't go to the gyms and stuff like that. What are you doing to prepare strength and conditioning wise?
Yeah, I'm very lucky. Actually, a couple of days ago, I reached out to a company called Zebra Mats, and if you're familiar, they make a lot of really, really high quality training mats. And the owner, president, is going to sponsor me, so they're going to send me some mats so that I can train in my garage. I was already training in my garage, but the mats that I had were, I was unable to do jujitsu on them. You know, I can, you know, stand on them and they're like a little cushiony, but they're not real training mats. So now I'm really excited because I'll be able to do a lot of jujitsu and grappling on the mats. But before that, you know, you don't need mats to do, you know, all sorts of different workouts, even wrestling workouts, you know. So I sent you some videos and I'll send you some more later, but there's a lot of little exercises that you can do in your living room. You don't need mats and you don't even need weights. So it's hard to explain and go through everything, but yeah.
As far as training partners, who's helping you out right now? I know it's kind of hard, and I mean you got to keep that social distance, but you kind of improvise with that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I have a boyfriend who's actually a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so I'm pretty lucky in that sense because some people are quarantined alone, which is awful. Some people are quarantined with maybe a significant other who doesn't know anything about MMA. So I'm very, very lucky in that sense. He actually wants to do more jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to. So, but yeah. So once we get those mats, you know, there's gonna be a lot of jiu-jitsu going on. But you know, obviously I won't be able to spar. I won't be able to, you know, really, you know, train normal. You know, the good thing about my boyfriend is that he actually was a fighter as well. So he can hold pads for me. You know, we can do workouts together. We can go for runs outside, you know, and then we don't really have to social distance because, you know, whatever I'm going to get, he's going to get anyway. So.
Yeah, I see that. As far as you training with him, does he also fight professionally? Does he have to prepare himself also for fights at the moment?
He used to fight, and he had a couple professional fights, but he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and so he's just going to focus on he's a black belt in the 10th planet system. So he's going to be opening a 10th planet here in it's technically LA, but it's on the border of LA and Orange County. And so once the world gets back to normal, he's going to be focusing on opening his gym. He competes in jiu-jitsu and all that. And then I'm the fighter. So, you know, jiu-jitsu, fighting, but we understand both worlds. So it's a relationship that really works out.
That's the Eddie Bravo system, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Tony Ferguson's actually training with him, right? Or actually, he's trained by Eddie with his fight. I think it's like the 4th time they canceled that fight. 5th. Wow. As far as that, I know you're a wrestler. So what would you do with Nurmagomedov if you were gonna fight him? I know nobody can kind of solve that puzzle right now, but you are a wrestler also, and you've become a better striker, by the way. So what would you do if you had to fight him?
Yeah, that's hard. That's definitely an equation that I will never have to solve. But, you know, when you know someone is that high level of a wrestler, even if you are a wrestler, which I am, you have to kind of bite the bullet and know when you're beaten, you know? So as a wrestler, if he's going to out wrestle me, if he's going to take my strength away from me, then you might need to focus on things that aren't your strengths, you know? So I would focus on my grappling, distance, my cardio, all things that he has as well. But, you know, it's like solving a Rubik's Cube, you know, it's not easy. And, you know, there are a few people who can do it, but, you know, they're called geniuses.
Yeah. Who are your coaches right now in all aspects of your training? If you could kind of give them a shout out, and I know they're having a hard time with their gyms and stuff like that, so kind of give
Yeah. I love my coaches so much, and it's a really big bummer that we didn't get to go and perform in London, because this last fight camp was by far my best camp. You know, I was the healthiest. I was the most mentally prepared. I did a lot of visualization and positive thinking and positive talking to myself, where, I mean, a lot of people don't do that. They don't, you know, they don't focus on what they're telling themselves in the moment. And so anyway, I was very, very, very ready. And I really was hoping that my coaches were going to be able to shine with me, because when I win, we all win. So, but Tyler Wombles is my Muay Thai coach at Classic Fight Team. Chewy Gutierrez is my boxing coach out of Raw Talent Boxing in Santa Ana. My wrestling coach is Kenny Johnson, and that's he's the wrestling coach at Black House MMA. And actually have a strength and conditioning coach, John Walker, who he changed career paths, but I've been with him for so many years. So this was actually our last camp together. So it's kind of a bummer that I didn't get to perform and I'll use all the training that we've done the last few months to prepare for this. But anyway, so yeah, those are my main coaches. You know, I'm very, very fortunate to have a lot of different coaches. Like I said, you know, I told you earlier, I'm very lucky that my boyfriend is a black belt and we train as well. So, you know, I had such a strong team, strong camp, and all my teammates, you know, they were rooting for me as well. And I mean, I guess all I could do now is get the next fight date, focus on the next fight, and then kind of use all that training for the next fight too.
Well, I know we talked about certain things, you know, as far as your fighting career. How long have you actually been doing it for? How long has it been an actual pro?
Man, it's so crazy to say this, but I'm 32, and I started training when I was 22.
Wow.
I think I took my first pro fight when I was 23, so I've basically been training and fighting 10 years.
Wow.
You know, professionally, maybe 8, you know, 7 or 8, but like, you know, like around it, like 10 years. I've been fighting for a decade, you know, and before that I was a All-American collegiate wrestler. Before that I was a state champion high school wrestler. So my whole life, since I was 15 years old, I've been doing combat sports.